What's going on, family? We're back on here with the Juke, and today, man, we're going to be talking about the state of the Chicago Bulls. Going to be talking about the recent history of the Bulls and this team heading into this upcoming season. Let's get straight into it. The Chicago Bulls are my favorite team. I'm not really a big fan of basketball. I never really was until this point. And the only person that really did make me attracted to basketball was Derrick Rose. If you don't know who that man is, bro, he's a sensation. He was balling out when I was in middle school. And he was the only reason that really made me want to watch basketball. So I started to watch basketball, and that grew me to liking the Chicago Bulls. And little did I know I would have this streak of liking teams that just suck, liking teams that don't really win as much besides the Yankees. And literally the Bulls were on a losing stretch for a very, very, very long time. After that Derrick Rose team, after that chapter closed, we ended up shipping away Jimmy Butler for Zach LaVine. And he's shown to be the one bright star out of these many young players that we thought were going to end up blossoming. And Zach LaVine turned into the man he is now. But before that, he was just known as a dunker, coming from the Minnesota Timberwolves, tearing his ACL. And we didn't really know what exactly he would turn into. But little did we know, man, Zach LaVine is now a superstar. He's not just a dunker. And up to this past season, everyone thought he was just a dunker. But this man can shoot, bro. Zach LaVine is a hooper. If y'all don't know, Zach LaVine is a hooper. The main objective for the Chicago Bulls front office last offseason was just to make sure that Zach LaVine was going to stay. Zach LaVine played over his contract, and he was time for him to get rung up for a max contract. He definitely wanted that on his plate. He signed with Clutch Sports to get some leverage, obviously, one of the biggest agencies in the NBA right now. And Zach LaVine ended up doing so. But the front office made it their mission to make sure that he was going to stay happy and stay in Chicago. So 2 seasons ago, training for Vucevic, the past offseason acquiring DeMar DeRozan, acquiring Lonzo Ball, acquiring Alex Caruso. He had some names on that roster now. Drafting Kobe White a couple years ago, hoping that would be the backcourt for the future. Now is not looking like it would be. But they were trying to make moves, of course, to make sure that Zach LaVine had some players alongside him. And trading away some younger players who showed some flashes for some older dudes, but they were willing to play and willing to play at a high level. That was ultimately what the Chicago Bulls were looking for. And Zach LaVine, having his first year playing with alongside another top scorer in the league, his stats did dwindle a little bit. But, DeMar DeRozan had a season for the ages, man. Everybody was down on the Bulls for trading for DeMar DeRozan. And I said it since before the season. If the Juke was around before that, I would have been skyrocketed because of my prediction. But I said DeMar DeRozan was going to be a great addition for us. Because I just said we never had a guy that we can lean on towards the end of the games to knock down some free throws, to hit some mid-range game. None of that. We didn't have any of that. DeMar DeRozan, something underrated about him is he attacks the rim and wants to get those calls on him. Zach LaVine, sometimes he's just not built for that moment yet. I feel like he will be one day. But, bro, he had nobody alongside him to really teach him that. And he had nobody to really just help him get there. So DeMar DeRozan was a big addition for us, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't think he was going to be an MVP candidate, and he ended up playing to an MVP caliber level. And heading into the season, to keep those same predictions and hope that he will be, that would be far-fetched, but I will say, I think if this team is fully healthy, we have a shot at it all. This past season, man, the first half of the season started off so great. When you get someone like Lonzo Ball on your team, he's a sharpshooter, and when you got 2 people that hold the ball as long as they do when it comes to Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, if you can attack the paint and dish it out to Lonzo Ball and he's knocking down threes, the team was set up well. Defensively, offensively, there was a lot of energy in the building, a lot of energy we haven't seen in a while, man. We went 4 straight years without making the playoffs, and this looked like the first season where we were going to make a run at the playoffs. And we were first for a majority of the first half of the season, and then injuries started to hit us. Lonzo Ball ended up being out for the rest of the season, which it looked like he was going to come back for the playoffs. That never happened. Stay tuned on the video for Lonzo Ball. I got one coming. Alex Caruso ended up fracturing his wrist. Patrick Williams, the second game of the season, fractures his wrist and is out for majority of the season. Just injuries started to hit us back to back. And with COVID still being around, of course, it just felt like every time the team was trying to get their footing around them, somebody was out due to COVID-19, of course. It was crazy. The team fell apart. We went from finishing first to finishing 6th in the Eastern Conference. But overall, with how the Bulls were the past couple seasons, 6th was a big W, honestly. just being able to have a run at the title in general, because you just want to get into the playoffs. It doesn't matter about anything before that. Of course, you want to finish with a higher seeding for home court advantage, but man, the Bulls just wanted that playoff taste, and we got it. But we ended up pairing up with the Milwaukee Bucks, and it looked serious at one point when it was a 1-1 series. DeMar went crazy, dropped 40 points to get us the win in Milwaukee, and then we just ended up losing up. We lose the next 3 games, and the Chicago Bulls season is over. And heading into this season, though, we didn't make that many crazy moves. The cap room is kind of tight. When you look at DeMar DeRozan's contract, we ended up signing Zach LaVine to a big deal. Vucevic is still getting paid a lot of money. And obviously, Lonzo got paid a lot of money this past offseason as well. The Bulls didn't have that much cap space, so you can't really expect them to make that many crazy moves. I did expect them to make at least a splash in terms of trading players. And who knows? Kobe White is still on this team, and I think he's going to be the odd man out. So I already made a video on trading for Bogdanovich. We could even trade for Jordan Clarkson from the Jazz. I still think we can make a trade. But overall, I didn't expect too many crazy splash moves because this team, I think, is built well. We just need to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing. If there was one big need that I wanted the Bulls to fill, and we didn't really do that, was get a good center, a defensive center. Andre Drummond was added to the team, but I don't think he's going to be that defensive center that I really wanted. That the dream scenario was getting Mitchell Robinson or even getting Miles Turner. But hopefully Drummond works out pretty well. But I just think personally heading into the season, if this team is healthy, we have a shot to win it all. When you have the perimeter defense out there like Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball, and you have the shot making of Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, and of course DeMar DeRozan is going to get his. It doesn't matter what you try to do, he's going to get his. The biggest thing and the biggest L last year was every time we try to get in our groove, we did get double teamed, and LaVine and DeRozan were passing out to people and they weren't making shots. So I think that's the biggest thing going into the season. We didn't add that much shooting, but that's why I feel like they need to make some trades and get some more shooting on the team. But overall, man, I think this team is in good hands. And if we are healthy, the whole East needs to be on a lookout. I think for sure 5th seed is the floor for us this upcoming season. The NBA season is pretty unpredictable. Injuries do happen. We have the people like the Bucks, we have the Celtics, we have the 76ers, we have the Nets still in the East, of course, the Heat still in the East. But you never know what can happen. The Celtics started off terribly last season, and you saw the run they went on. Sometimes the NBA season is very unpredictable. That's all I'm going to say. And I think the Bulls can make a run at it. And obviously there is some bias involved, of course, but I think the Bulls have a really good shot. This team is in better hands than we have seen in the past couple off seasons and the past couple seasons in general. And I think last year was just a taste of what we can do this year. The time is closing, though. I will say DeMar DeRozan is only getting older. Vucevic is only getting older, of course. But I definitely think that this team has the talent to do so. All right, y'all, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're liking down below and commenting your NBA squads, your favorite NBA team. I want to see them down below. And let me know what you think the Bulls are going to do this season. Make sure you're subscribing as well. The road to 100 is still live, is still active. We're trying to hit 100 as soon as we can, of course. And yeah, make sure you follow our socials. We got the Juke on Instagram. We got the Juke on Twitter now. And we got the Juke on TikTok. All links to the socials are going to be down below in the description, of course. And you're going to see it at the end of this video. But with that being said, I'll catch y'all guys in the flip. Peace.